In this video, I'm going to show you how to do a 2 by 2. Actually, you could do other increasing levels of factorial design, but a 2 by 2 between subjects factorial analysis of variance in SPSS. So again, I'll refer you to this SPSS guide for more detailed information about this example. But the bottom line in here is you're going to have a subject ID variable, and then you have coding variables for each of your independent variables. So a level of 1 means they were in one particular group of the first variable and a different group for the second variable, and this is their dependent variable. So the difference between these subjects and say like these subjects here, they're in a different group according to the second IV, whatever that is. And of course you can give these meaningful names for IV1, IV2. This is just an example, right? So that's the key difference here between like a one-way analysis of variance and your second IV is you're going to have another grouping variable for your second IV, right? So that's the hard part. Once you organize and enter your data, then you open up your syntax, right? And now I have value labels here. This is the value labels command that will assign a label studied under land for IV1, studied underwater for a value of 2, and that will improve your output. It's not necessary to run the output, but instead of a 1, it'll have this label associated there. And we're going to do our analysis of variance for recall. That's the dependent variable. That's what it was called in the editor, as you can see there. It's called recall by IV1, and then of course you have to have the lowest and the highest level for the grouping value. IV2, same thing, and then of course this stuff is the same. So if you want to run it, you run it, you get your, this is where the value labels really come in handy here, is because it will, instead of a 1 and 2, here would be, it actually has the label that you specify in that command. So here's your means for all of your 4 groups, right, at the end for all of those 4 groups. And then we have our source table. So we have our F, we get 1 F for our first independent variable. As we can see, the F is less than 1, the degrees of freedom are 1, 16, p-value is greater than 0.05, so there's no significant difference. This F is for our second IV, right, and it is less than 0.05, so it is significant. And then we have our interaction, and the interaction here is significant. And by the way, in this example, just because it's fabricated and sort of, hand-entered data, the numbers are the same. They're almost never going to be the same. You would want to check to make sure that you entered your data properly. But that's for your interaction. That's all the relevant information. Of course, you have your partial eta squared, your effect sizes and power for these different IVs and interaction here at the bottom. So that's how you do SPSS. That's how you do a factorial analysis of variance in SPSS.